Some battles in life aren't fought with fists, they're fought in the spirit. Have you ever felt like certain people in your life are smiling to your face, but secretly hoping for your downfall? Maybe you've experienced betrayal, envy, or words spoken against you in secret. The truth is, not everyone around you wants to see you rise. But here's the good news. No enemy, no gossip, no hidden scheme can stand against the power of God. Psalm 80 isn't just a prayer, it's a divine weapon. When you pray it with faith, you're calling upon heavenly forces to expose deceit, remove toxic influences, and strengthen you against all evil. This isn't about revenge, it's about divine justice. It's about clearing your path so that no manipulation, no negativity, and no betrayal can hold you back from what God has planned for you. And here's something most people don't realize. Sometimes, the greatest attacks come from the people closest to you. But when you pray with authority, the truth comes to light, false friends are revealed, and God's protection surrounds you like an impenetrable shield. Stay with me until the end, because today, you're going to learn a powerful prayer that will silence negativity, destroy evil intentions, and restore peace in your life. Negativity creeps into life like a shadow, often unnoticed until it takes root. Psalm 80 is more than just words on a page. It's a call to divine intervention, a spiritual shield against the unseen forces that drain energy and disrupt peace. The power of prayer isn't just in speaking, but in believing. Imagine starting each morning by speaking words that drive away envy, gossip, and harmful energies before they even reach you. That's the strength found in this psalm. Throughout history, people have turned to prayer as their first line of defense. A businessman struggling with constant betrayals, a mother protecting her children from ill intentions, or someone battling inner turmoil. All have found refuge in divine words. Psalm 80 serves as a declaration that no darkness can stand where God's light shines. And when one prays with conviction, they're not just reciting verses, they're shifting the atmosphere around them. But how does one truly tap into this power? It's not just about saying the words, it's about feeling them resonate in the soul. Imagine yourself in a fortress, walls built by faith, guarded by angels who stand watch against all harm. Each prayer strengthens that fortress, making it impenetrable to negativity. This is the spiritual armor that Psalm 80 provides, and those who embrace it will soon witness its transformative force. Life can feel like a battlefield, with unseen forces pressing in from all sides. But no one fights alone. God stands at the center, offering strength, guidance, and protection. It's easy to feel isolated when challenges pile up, but the Bible reminds us that even in the darkest moments, divine help is near. Imagine walking through a storm, yet remaining untouched by the rain because an invisible shield covers you. That's what faith in God's presence does. It shelters, uplifts, and leads the way forward. Many have faced moments where they questioned if anyone truly saw their pain. A person betrayed by those they trusted, a heart weighed down by disappointment, or a soul longing for peace. Yet, even when people fail, God does not. Just like a lighthouse guiding ships through rough waters, He illuminates the path ahead. Trusting in His presence means never being lost, no matter how thick the fog of life becomes. But how do we strengthen this awareness? It starts with prayer, not as a ritual, but as a real conversation. Speaking to God daily, even in simple words, builds an unshakable bond. Just like a child finds comfort in their father's voice, the soul finds security in God's guidance. The more we acknowledge His presence, the more we experience His strength in our lives. And when struggles arise, instead of fearing them, we begin to see them as stepping stones towards something greater. Words carry power. Some build, others destroy. Malicious words, whether spoken in secret or to one's face, can wound deeply. Envy operates in silence, yet its effects are loud, creating obstacles where none should exist. Psalm 80 isn't just a plea for protection. It's a declaration that no weapon formed through words, jealousy, or deception shall prosper. When one prays with faith, they're not just hoping for peace. They're commanding it into existence. Think of how many lives have been shaped by the words of others. A false rumor can tarnish a reputation, an envious glance can shift opportunities, and a hidden scheme can derail progress. Yet, just as words can harm, they can also heal. Declaring God's promises aloud, speaking life, protection, and victory, builds an impenetrable shield. A person who prays Psalm 80 with conviction is not just asking for peace. They are setting the foundation for it. But true peace isn't just about silencing the negativity. It's about replacing it with something greater. Love and serenity flourish where faith is strong. Imagine a home where every word spoken brings warmth, where relationships are guarded by divine protection, and where no scheme can take root. This is what happens when one prays not just for protection, but for a heart filled with God's presence. The more one speaks blessings over their life, the less room there is for anything else. Negativity doesn't just appear. It finds a way in through fear, doubt, and external influences. Sometimes, it's the company one keeps, the voices they listen to, or even their own thoughts that plant seeds of insecurity. But Psalm 80 is a spiritual cleansing, a force that uproots negativity at its core. Praying with faith isn't just about asking for protection. It's about reclaiming the strength and confidence that were stolen by doubt and deception. Imagine someone constantly second-guessing themselves, afraid to take action because of past failures or negative words spoken over them. These invisible chains keep them bound, unable to move forward. But when God's protection is embraced, those chains break. Confidence is restored because they no longer walk alone. Just as a warrior stands tall knowing they are armored, a believer who trusts in God's defense walks without fear. But confidence in God's protection isn't just about feeling safe. It's about living boldly. When negativity is eliminated, what's left is a life where decisions are made with faith, not fear. No longer held back by doubt, a person moves forward knowing that what is meant for them cannot be taken away. Strength returns, and with it, a certainty that every step is divinely guided. And when one truly understands this, they no longer just pray for protection. They step into it daily. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about excusing wrongdoing, but about freeing oneself from the burden of resentment. Holding on to past hurts only weighs the soul down, making it harder to walk in God's light. Psalm 80 teaches that true wisdom comes from letting go, not as a sign of weakness, but as proof of spiritual strength. When one prays for protection, they must also pray for the ability to release what no longer serves them. Consider someone who has been betrayed by a close friend. The pain is real, but dwelling on it keeps the wound open. Instead of allowing bitterness to take root, they choose a different path. They pray, not just for healing, but for the wisdom to recognize who belongs in their life and who does not. Discernment is key. It allows one to see hidden motives without allowing anger to cloud judgment. When prayer is combined with wisdom, one moves forward without fear or resentment. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering without bitterness. It's about learning the lesson without reliving the pain. Those who trust in God's justice understand that no deception goes unnoticed, no injustice is ignored. With this mindset, they are no longer burdened by the past, but are empowered by faith. And as wisdom grows, so does the ability to discern which battles require action and which are best left to divine intervention. Trusting in God's justice means understanding that no wrongdoing goes unanswered. In a world where deception often seems to succeed, it's easy to question whether good truly prevails. But the Bible reassures that nothing escapes divine sight. Psalm 80 isn't just a plea for help. It's a declaration that no evil can stand where God's power is present. Prayer isn't just words. It's a force that shifts the balance of spiritual battles. Consider someone who has been wronged, perhaps a person who worked honestly, only to be betrayed by a deceitful colleague. The natural reaction is anger, frustration, even a desire for revenge. But faith teaches a different lesson. Instead of seeking justice through human hands, they surrender it to God, trusting that His judgment is far greater than any earthly punishment. When one truly believes in divine justice, they stop wasting energy on resentment and start walking in peace. But this kind of trust doesn't happen overnight. It's built through prayer. Each time one prays, they are reinforcing their faith, choosing to believe that God is already working behind the scenes. Evil only has power when fear is present, but those who stand firm in God's protection know that nothing formed against them will prosper. And when this truth settles in the heart, life takes on a new strength, one where fear no longer dictates decisions, and faith becomes the foundation of every step. True freedom isn't just about external circumstances. It's about the state of the soul. Many people walk through life carrying invisible chains, memories of past hurts, cycles of negativity, and burdens of resentment. Psalm 80 is a powerful prayer that breaks these chains, releasing the soul into a place of spiritual peace. When one prays for healing, they aren't just asking to forget the pain. They're asking to rise above it, transformed and renewed. Think of someone who always finds themselves in toxic relationships or situations filled with negativity. It's not coincidence. It's a pattern, a cycle that needs to be broken. And that's exactly what prayer does. By calling upon God's strength, one gains the power to step out of harmful patterns and into a life of peace. It's not about ignoring the past, but about no longer being controlled by it. Healing begins when faith replaces fear and when prayer becomes a daily weapon against negativity. But healing is a process. It requires patience, trust, and the willingness to let go. Spiritual freedom doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means one is no longer trapped by what once held them back. Those who pray Psalm 80 consistently will find that as their soul is freed, their entire life shifts. Relationships improve, opportunities arise, and a deep sense of peace takes root. And when that transformation begins, the journey of faith becomes even more powerful. Gratitude is a spiritual key. It unlocks doors that worry and doubt keep shut. When one finishes a prayer like Psalm 80, the final step isn't just to ask, but to give thanks. Gratitude reinforces faith, reminding the heart that even before the blessing arrives, God is already at work. Those who practice daily prayer know that protection, healing, and breakthroughs don't come from a single request, but from a consistent relationship with God. Imagine someone who starts each day with prayer, thanking God not only for what has already happened, but for what's yet to come. This shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of waking up with anxiety, they wake up with expectation. Instead of dwelling on problems, they focus on solutions. Daily prayer isn't a routine. It's a lifestyle, a commitment to staying connected to divine guidance and protection. And those who walk this path never walk alone. But faith is a journey, not a destination. The more one prays, the stronger their connection with God becomes. Each day is an opportunity to grow spiritually, to seek wisdom, and to align one's life with divine purpose. And as this journey continues, blessings unfold in ways that go beyond human understanding. This is why prayer must not be an occasional act, but a foundation. Because those who remain in God's presence will always find strength, protection, and favor. Now that you've discovered the power of Psalm 80, the real question is, will you use it? Prayer isn't just something to hear about. It's something to practice. Every word spoken in faith strengthens your spiritual shield, breaks chains of negativity, and aligns your life with God's will. So, are you ready to take control of your spiritual destiny? Think about it. How different would your life be if every day you declared protection over yourself? If you replaced fear with faith, worry with prayer, and doubt with the certainty that God fights for you? Those who stand in prayer never stand alone, and those who trust in God's justice will always see their enemies fall. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt the weight of false friends or negativity in your life? How has prayer helped you overcome? Share your experience in the comments. I read every one. And if you want to keep receiving powerful prayers and divine wisdom, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and join this growing community of faith. Your journey is just beginning, and greater things are yet to come.